I'm Alexa Schwerha with Campus Reform, and you're watching 5 Big Questions. Today, I am joined by a senior at Elizabethtown College, Alex Russo. Alex is the president of Turning Point USA on his campus, where he has experience with standing up for his conservative values and sharing those with other students. Alex, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course, we're excited to have you. So I wanted to get your perspective because it is very, very unique. Here at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we talk a lot about the issues that college conservatives have on public campuses, but the unique thing about your story is you get to a private university, and that puts a lot more hurdles in front of you. So tell us a little more about what it's like being a conservative leader, but on a private college campus.
I've found so far, at first it was like, this is cool. We're fine. We're a nice little campus that we can all be a part of. But as things have progressed in our chapter, it ended up being more so that the administration got to put their say in every little thing you do. If I want a poster to be put up somewhere, it has to be approved by like 3 to 4 different people and stuff like that. So much extra administrative BS, if you don't mind me saying that, the lack of a better word, that we have to deal with. And I also find not only that we're a private school, they can do all these things, but we're a small private school. So a lot of the people that are getting in our way, they have like nothing better to do than to kind of just stalk everything that we do and regulate it all.
Right. And this was really personal for you in your chapter, especially last semester. And I want to give a quick little example here of your event on critical race theory. The school stepped in and said that they didn't want you talking about it. They didn't want the topic on campus. And that seemed to cause a lot of problems as you guys were planning that event. Can you tell us a little more about what happened there?
So, we had been setting up the speaker event with Joe Bazraoui from Turning Point, and closer to the event, I keep in mind I'm a new president at the time. Didn't know necessarily all of the administrative procedures, but of course they're gonna hold that against you when you're a conservative student. If you were a left-leaning club, it'd be just like, oh, fine, we'll just let it pass. But they're like, we don't have enough time to get this event going. So I tried to meet with them and talk it out and see why they were saying that we couldn't have this event, what the reasons were, and ultimately they told me that they don't care about free speech. They care more about not offending other people on campus, potentially offending other people on campus. So we, at that point, everything was paid for and set up. So I was like, well, I can't not have this event. So Joe and Turning Point and LI and a group called Free PA worked together, and we got the event even bigger, and we had it off of campus in town, which was cool for publicity reasons, but sucks that we don't get to use the facilities that we pay for. But yeah.
Absolutely. You make a really good point there. I mean, you're paying to go to this university, you're paying for the facilities, but you're not able to use your freedom of expression and use your free speech in order to talk about the issues that you want to talk about. And like you said, it's great for publicity, and you were able to blow up that event, which is really great. You were able to reach more people. But how nice would it have been to have that event on your college campus, be able to talk to other students who attend that university? So when the administration has this power, has the ability to crack down on what speech is being talked about on college campuses, how do you overcome that?
It's hard because they like to pretend, a lot of the people in the administration pretend they really care about us. And I do genuinely think they do care about us as conservative students being on the campus. They're letting another event of ours go through, and we've been working through with them this semester. But the problem is they are very selective with what we talk about. The speaker we're having coming is talking about socialism in Venezuela. That's not as controversial because that is what is there, right? But critical race theory and other stuff like that is controversial, and they won't let us talk about that. So it's like I have to kind of be, if I want to have an event, I have to be selective with what I talk about. So which sucks. That's the whole point is the opposite of that, of having a Turning Point chapter. But to combat that, we've kind of just been doing it. We've been chugging along. Keep having our events, keep saying what we say, and deal with things as they come. There hasn't been too much lately. The last big thing was that event with Joe on critical race theory, but right now it seems like we're chugging along. They haven't kicked us off campus yet. So
That's really, really good to hear. Even a small victory is a victory. Something you guys can use to, fuel the momentum and get other conservative students to join you guys, join in your mission, join in the fight. So talking about especially the socialism event you guys have coming up, are there any other topics, any other issues that you think are important to bring to campus that students might not hear from in their college classrooms?
there's a lot, and actually, it's. I'm gonna obviously myself being the president, I'm gonna be vocal with you now, but it's honestly scary to even say things that I'm gonna be saying to you in a second because our school has been punishing individuals for like posts on their own social media. So if they caught wind that the president of Turning Point's interviewing and saying things that are offensive, then like I could be personally in trouble, which is so unfair. But I just wanted to say on this, that's what's going on. But in terms of other like topics I think is important to talk about is stuff like critical race theory and like LGBTQ issues, because that's really being pushed on our campus right now in classrooms and other stuff like that. A lot. It's really our campus during COVID really has become so racialized, and the faculty have gotten way more open with like forcing things on students. And so much so that they're literally like, you can't post something on your personal Instagram without getting in trouble. Like yesterday, we got an email. Oh, there was a bias incident report. Someone posted something on their Instagram and it offended someone. And now that person has to have like a conduct hearing. So that's where we're at. And so I can't probably talk about critical race theory again in like a big setting or stuff like that.
Right. And it's interesting you brought up, these bias response things. This is something we cover actually a lot here at Campus Reform. In a previous episode of 5 Big Questions, we were speaking with Sharice Trump, and she was talking about how unconstitutional those are because they make students afraid to speak up on their college campuses. And when I was in college, I went to Kent State University. I always thought it was great to talk about all these issues and engage in debates because college is supposed to be a place where you can go and meet new people and learn new things. So, as a student who's still on campus, why do you think it's important to engage in these conversations and really be true in your activism?
I think it's important because there are more, it's not really about like me and the people that are like I'm sure I'm a conservative. I know my values. Nothing that a biased professor is going to say to me is really going to change my mind. They can say it to me 1,000 times. I know what's true in whatever they're saying, or if not, I'm going to go find it because I know that what they're saying is probably skewed. But there's a lot of college students that just come in. They're not political to begin with. They just are just here to learn, right? As you said, and people like that, they're here to learn. They're going to learn what's given to them. So if there's not all sides of the issue, not a ability to have discourse and debate, it just turns them into a sponge for whatever agenda is being pushed in their classroom. And I think that's dangerous, and it destroys what college is actually supposed to be, and just taints people's minds because you can believe what you want, right? But the option should be presented to you, especially when you're just a normal in the middle of the road young college student. You want to be able to pick what you believe, not just be forced.
Absolutely, be exposed to multiple viewpoints, different opinions, and then use that to form your own. It's a great concept, but I have one final question for you. What would you say to college students? What advice would you have that are maybe on a private university that want to speak out about their conservative beliefs, that want to be more political?
That's hard. It's a hard thing to do. I think the biggest thing is when you begin speaking out and like not necessarily even forming a club, just begin speaking, right? Early on, accept that your social status will change. It's not a bad thing. Before I became Turning Point's president, I was the super loud, friendly kid that was always campus. Everyone can hear me everywhere because I'm really loud and I laugh really loud. I talk really loud. That's what my reputation was. I knew everybody. Everyone was my friend. And that still is the case to an extent, but it's been quote unquote tainted. Oh, he's the president of Turning Point. Oh, he's a degenerate. Oh, don't talk to him. Don't date him. Stuff like that. But that's just how the culture war is right now. That's how they try to get to you, but don't let it affect you. You will find your net. I found a way better net through my club, and I'm a stronger person because of it, because all those people that are rejecting you or me because of our political beliefs and our activism clubs aren't really our friends. So stay strong and just accept it. Your social status will change, and that's not a bad thing.
Hey, great piece of advice there. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate your insight.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was so fun.